Hello, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be discussing about who should be the new number 9 for the USMNT for the upcoming September camp. Alright, so let's begin. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you guys to like and subscribe because it is very important that you guys like and subscribe so you guys can miss another video. Alright, so let's continue. So the number 9 is one of the most polarizing positions for the USMNT. Obviously, the USMNT right now, they are looking for a striker, and one of the USMT's current problems is that they cannot find an actual number 9 who can consistently score goals. So yeah, we'll be going over players that can make it to the number 9 position, and who should be the starter for the upcoming September camp. So yeah, let's begin. So let's discuss this first with Jesus Ferreira. Jesus Ferreira right now is the current starter in Greg's eyes for the USMT. At 21 years old, the players from FC Dallas can as well play the central attacking mid position. However, the USMT doesn't really play equal camps. They usually do play dual eights. So yeah, right this season, Jesus Ferreira scored 14 goals and 5 assists in 26 MLS matches, 7 goals and 13 USMNT caps. However, you can say that's a pretty good goal scoring ratio, but if you really consider it that 4 of those goals came against Granada, so you take away 4 of those goals, so it'll be kind of like 3 goals and 12 caps. Yeah, that's not very good. Jesus Ferreira normally plays like a false nine, so yeah, Jesus Ferreira normally does play in that role. He kind of does play in a false nine, where he kind of links up play. However, if I have to say something, he's a very poor finisher, and as well, he is pretty poor at connecting play at being he's pretty poor at aerial duels, and he tends to get muscled out of the ball quite often. Jesus Ferreira does tend to lose many balls to many defenders, and as well, if you just apply a little bit of physicality on him, he loses the ball instantaneously. Which is many things I do not like about him. So yeah, although Jesus Ferreira is a pretty average starter for me, obviously we should be trying to find better options for this USMNT side. So yeah. Now let's go to the current backup, which is Ricardo Pepi. At 19 years old, the player from Augsburg he is still yet to make his first Bundesliga goal. 13 goals and 31 MLS appearances with FC Dallas last season. That's pretty good. If you can say, oh, it's worse than Jesus Ferreira, but FC Dallas were a pretty bad side last season. This season they have kind of been a little bit better since FC Dallas have kind of spent the money that they got from Ricardo Pepi pretty good. They used it on Paulo Riola, and right now they have Sebastian Lletget. And Paxton Pomacall is back from injury, which is something very huge for them. And obviously, FC Dallas just got a better side right now. One of the most expensive MLS transfers to Europe, 3 goals and 11 caps, a somewhat complete striker. If I have to say something about Ricardo Pepi, he's a pretty complete striker. He can finish. He can finish. However, since he moved to Augsburg, obviously his confidence has kind of not been there yet. So hopefully he can fix up his confidence. So yeah. A player who has been very much in form as is Jordan Pefok, 26 years old. The player from Union Berlin has scored 2 goals in his first 3 appearances with Union Berlin. He has 1 goal and 2 Bundesliga appearances. 22 goals and 32 appearances last season in the Swiss League with Young Boys. 1 goal and 9 USMNT caps. He is mostly a target man, so yeah, he cannot link up play like Ricardo Pepi, and he can certainly not link up play like Jesus Ferreira. So this guy mostly depends on aerial play. Obviously, considering that that we play a side that mostly whips and crosses, having a guy like Jordan Pefok might be a good thing because he's a target man, and he is a very good at headers. So yeah, Jordan Pefok he can definitely score. He can definitely score the ball in the back of the net. So that's something very good to see. Hopefully Jordan Pefok can continue his good form with Union Berlin. So yeah. Next is Haji Wright. So the 24-year-old from Antalyaspor has 14 goals and 32 appearances last season with the Turkish side. Obviously, this season he has 1 goal and 2 Turkish league appearances, 1 goal and 3 SMT caps. Good finisher, good movement, but needs an aerial game. Considering that this man is 6'4", this man needs to have a better aerial game than what he does. He is 6'4", and he's pretty athletic. So we would like to see him having a better aerial play. Obviously, he does have good movements. He has some good runs. He's a pretty good finisher. So we would like to see how he can continue this season. So yeah. Next is going to be Brandon Vasquez. So the 23-year-old from FC Cincinnati has 15 goals and 4 assists in 24 MLS appearances. He is right now in the Golden Boot race. He is yet to having a USMNT debut. Good finisher and pretty good in the air. And alongside that, he has pretty good movements. If I have to say something about him, he needs to link up with his teammates at FC Cincinnati a little bit better than what he does. If he wants to be a little bit more of a complete striker. Uh, Brandon Vasquez is pretty good. Um, would I have him above Jesus Ferreira? Probably, since he is yet to be having a chance with the SMT. So yeah. Next, it's gonna be Josh Sargent. So yeah, Josh Sargent is kind of like he's pretty far from challenging from a USMT spot. 2 goals in 26 appearances last season in the Premier League. He has struggled a lot with Norwich. Normally plays as a right winger. 5 goals and 19 USMNT caps. Obviously, this man has struggled a lot since he got to Norwich. Considering that Norwich had to play in Timo Pukki as striker, and obviously they're not planning out anything for their future. Obviously, Norwich still has to be playing Timo Pukki as their striker. So yeah, and obviously Josh Sargent has kind of like his confidence has never been there. Even when he was at Werder Bremen, obviously his confidence was never there. And obviously, one could say he should have stayed with Werder Bremen. He could have stayed one season in Bundesliga too. He could have scored a buttload of goals in the Bundesliga too, and come back with a lot of confidence to the Bundesliga with a much better Werder Bremen side. But obviously, he decided to leave Werder Bremen, so yeah, that was kind of like a bad move for Josh, if I'm going to be honest. Next is going to be Matthew Hoppe. He's only 21 years old. He's in Middlesbrough, but he's on loan from Mallorca. Other position is left winger. 1 goal and 6 CSMT caps. But considering he mostly played as a left winger, he can see why. We'll look to find form in the championship. So yeah, Matthew Hoppe right now, he's probably not even close to challenging for USMNT spot. But obviously, some people from the fan base do put him there. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with Matthew Hoppe, but one thing I would like to see is him getting sorted out his club situation right now in the moment, which is not pretty good, which is pretty bad right now at the moment. So yeah, obviously Matthew Hoppe needs to be finding better form at the club level. So yeah. And the last player is a dual national, Folarin Balogun, 21 years old. Recently just got a transfer to Reims. 2 goals in the first 2 Liga appearances. Dual national with England, and he's a former Arsenal Academy player. Other things to note is that he is friends with Yunus Musa, so obviously if the USMT wants to be getting him, obviously they have an advantage with him being friends with Musa, and obviously Musa can try to recruit him. So yeah, obviously Greg Berhalter is one of the best dual national recruiters in the world. Look, Greg Berhalter should just give up his place as USMT coach and just be our dual national recruiter. That's everything he should be. Like, to be honest. So yeah, obviously the SMT does have a lot of strikers to choose from, but obviously the SMT needs a staple number 9 who can consistently score goals. So yeah, so here's how my order will be for the September camp. So Jordan Pefok has to be in the September camp, considering he has been on form with Union Berlin. Second will be Haji Wright, since he is scoring goals in Turkey. Third is Brandon Vasquez, since he has 15 goals and 26 MLS appearances. Next is going to be Jesus Ferreira, who's been pretty much on form. Folarin Balogun, I like to see him having better form and to see if he can continue that form in Liga, because last season in the Championship he was not that good, but this season he has kind of started out pretty good. So hopefully Folarin Balogun can continue his good form in Liga. For Ricardo Pepi, he needs to find his good form in Augsburg. Josh Sargent needs to get away from Norwich, or at least try to solidify a place with the club. And for Matthew Hoppe, obviously Matthew Hoppe needs to find form first at club level before he can even consider himself being part for the race for the number 9 position. So yeah, this has obviously been a pretty fun video to make. Obviously the USMNT right now needs to be having a number 9. So obviously for me the two front runners will be Haji Wright and Jordan Pifak, and one can consider Brandon Vasquez as well as part of the squad. But one could say that Brandon Vasquez could be a risk because he hasn't really played with the USMNT, and he was not really part of during World Cup qualifying. And obviously, with the World Cup being quite a few months away, obviously you do not want to struggle anything. So you do not want to risk anything. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Adios. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.